Hey everybody, what is going on? Serial of a Jive here, and today I'm playing Entropia Universe. What we're going to be doing today is a amped up mining run. You guys seemed to like it last time, so we're going to be doing it again. This time we're spending 168 PEDs to get a level 8 finder at a solid 5% markup. This means we've got to be going after some high level, or not level, but some decent quality markup ores and end matter to make our money back. Also, what it means is that there's a good chance that we're going to have something cool happen during this run. I love doing it because the thing is, I've been getting into some other games recently, as you guys can tell from my channel. So what that means is it means I'm going to be doing less Entropia Universe, but when I do some Entropia Universe, we're going to be going big. So hopefully you guys are enjoying it. I've also been doing a lot of like tree cutting, which is not fun to show. It turns out like tree cutting, a really good way to bump up your skills. I've almost gained 1,000 skill points just from doing that. But it's a really boring thing to watch, and I'm not going to make you guys watch that. So here's what we're going to do. I just feel it. I feel it. I want to go to Treasure Island again. For some reason, I always come back to Treasure Island. My apartment's on Treasure Island City. My biggest mining claim is on Treasure Island. Like, I've just got to go to Treasure Island, and we're going to see what happens. You guys saw it. This is going to be a 218 PED run. Obviously, you guys know the drill. We are not going to be going through all of the probes, so it's probably more like a 200 PED run, but I just get 50 PEDs of probes, and we sort of see where life takes us. So let's get going here. I don't know, hopefully you guys are liking some of my more recent stuff too. I know I'm playing some different games, but I'm really getting into it. Like, ooh, we're getting some weird lag here. Interesting. So I had to update, actually this is related. For Gears of War, I had to update my my computer. I had to get to the latest Windows update so I could get Gears of War through the, what is it? It's like the Game Pass program. So it cost me a maximum, no, not maximum. It cost me $2 to get that whole Gears of War 5 thing. So I'm super psyched about that. Really excited to get into it. Probably when this video is released, I'm not sure if I'll push to any Gears of War videos. I just recorded my Gears of War 5 sort of low spec, low system setting video. Don't expect you guys to watch that one at all, because that's more for people that are just wondering if they can run a game. But what I am hoping is that we're gonna have like a really good campaign and everything like that, just to get myself up to date with everything. I've actually been running through. The Gears of War 4 campaign. So I'm trying to complete that now, and then I'm going to jump into 5, and hopefully it's going to be pretty cool. I'm hoping. Let's see what we get. First drop, first claim. It's an energy matter claim. That's not quite as good as, if we got an ore claim, but it's still something. Let's see. You can check the depth, too. I know some of you guys mentioned I should be using a deeper finder, especially with these amps. Usually the deeper the depth, the better the stuff you're going to find. But there is something to be said for using. Oh, and here's all my random loot that I've been getting. But don't worry, we're keeping all this stuff separate. But yeah, usually I've been just using sort of the 105 because it's unlimited. I really do need to get onto that whole limited finder thing. I'm probably going to be doing a limited finder run, but I've got to go out and actually figure out A, what limited finder I should be using just with markup and everything like that, and then B, I want to take it to FOMA or Club Never Die. They're the same thing. It's not two different places, but I want to take it there and really like see what there is, right? Like go nuts with it. Hopefully we'll find something good. Hopefully we'll find something good up there, and hopefully we'll find something good down here. Force Nexus, it used to be a high markup end matter, but not anymore. So a lot of the stuff that used to be high markup, Mindark actually just sort of killed the market on it. It's unfortunate to see, and it's I hate to see it, right? Because they had a really good economy, in my opinion, back in the day. But things have shifted now so that Mindark can pull a little bit of money out of it, which means if you're a trader, if you're a crafter, if you're doing something like that, you're not loving life as much as you used to. Because I guess the way it used to work, like the old Entropia Universe economy, the way it used to work is you come into Entropia Universe and there are 3 professions. This is still true today pretty much. 3 main professions. You've got crafting, you've got mining, and you've got hunting, right? hunting was a profession everybody wanted to go into. It was a cool profession. You're with the team, everything like that. If you're a hunter, you can expect to lose money all the time. Even if you get to the most advanced level of hunting, it's very hard to make money unless you find some sort of edge. And there were certain edges that people would find. Like some people would go to Crystal Palace and they'd be getting cool stuff up there, right? But for the most part, it was a hard edge to find. In hunting, you usually expect to see losses. Everybody coming in sort of knew that after the first couple days. Next up, you've got mining. Mining was different because with mining, starting off, you weren't going to be the best miner. But if you really figured things out, you could start going after ores and end matters that had high markup. Things like narcesium, iron, stuff like that. A lot of it was narc. Ooh, nice. You got some sweet stuff. We're finding a lot of end matter here. Narc actually had a very high markup. That was like 150% at one point. So you'd find that and you'd be overjoyed. Iron used to be in the 120s. We're going to have to summon this claim because that mob is going to kill me if we don't do it. So yeah, like a lot of that stuff like Force Nexus, all of that, it had a high markup. Force Nexus was used for Mine Force, and that was something that people would be using for teleportation chips, wormholes, everything like that. And this was pre-vehicles. So it was actually like, oh, there's a really big use case for it. In crafting, this was pre-nano cubes and explosive ammo and all of that junk and skilling up on motherships. So what everybody would do is like, for crafters, they'd have to buy all this like stuff, and even if they were going with the lowest markup ores and end matter, they'd still be paying 110 to 115%. So like crafters were really sort of they were holding up the mining industry. They were paying the profits that miners were making. In return, what miners would do is they'd be making a little bit, squeezing a little bit of extra out of the economy, but usually if you really appreciated the game, you sort of knew what you're doing, right? Like you'd go out there, you'd mine, you'd find some good stuff. If you made money, that's awesome. What you'd then do is you'd go ahead and, take that money and put it back into hunting, lose a little bit, and life was good. Now, crafting. Crafters had a huge loss. They still have a huge loss today. But what happened is when MindArc went with nano cubes and mothership repairs, they shifted all the crafting losses from stuff that would go through to MindArc a little bit and then mostly to markup. From that, they shifted to stuff that would all go into TT gear, right? So crafting, it was always a high loss profession. But the difference was back in the day, the losses were actually through markup. So what would happen is if they were losing 15% off the TT value, they might be losing another 15% off the markup. So MindArc gets 15%, and the players who found all those ores and end matter and all that cool stuff would get 15%. That was a pretty good system, in my opinion, because MindArc got a little bit, and the players who really played it smart and the miners who knew where to go and everything like that, they got a little bit. When MindArc put in the nano cubes, now people go to the trade terminal. And they're still taking these losses, right? They're not losing 15% TT now. They're losing 20 to 25% TT. This is my opinion. None of this is proven, by the way. And now, instead of losing everything into markup, or losing half into markup and half into TT value, the crafters are losing a little bit less, but they're losing it all in TT value. So there's a little bit more money going into the loot pool. A little bit more money probably going to MindArc. Now, if you do believe what a lot of people say, that MindArc doesn't take money out of the loot pool and they only take it through decay, that would explain the role of the motherships. Now players are losing all this money to the motherships to heal them and repair them and all sorts of stuff like that, and a lot of that probably counts as decay, which means MindArc gets the money. At least that's my theory. That's my whole theory on why this was done, on why they made those changes. I mean, some people are probably going to agree with me, some are going to disagree, but that's my theory. And my theory is that when the economy was rebalanced like that, that sort of ended up hurting a lot of the players who were just sort of running that red line, right? Like they're just barely red, right? They're making a lot of money back on markup and they're doing pretty good, but they're still maybe losing a little bit. Maybe they're trading to make up for that or whatever. Now they can't do that anymore, and they're just taking huge losses because they're not getting that markup anymore. And the way of the game, like the way you profit, the way the economy works, MindArc needs money, right? Like they need money to keep servers going and everything like that. So no hate towards them for taking extra out. I can understand nano cubes, and a lot of that came around, I think like 2008, 2009, 2010. For those of you who don't remember, that was sort of a rough time. I remember I wasn't like big on like fiat trading, but I think the euro, like the price point of the euro versus a dollar flipped a little bit, and that made it hard because, again, Entropia Universe is a game that is made in Sweden. So actually they're not even paid in euros. They're paid in, I'm not even going to take a guess. I know in Swedish currency, whatever it is. I'm blanking on it. I'm sorry for those of you guys in Sweden. I don't know the currency. But their developers are paid in that. So when there's a currency fluctuation, people might be depositing the same amount of USD, but MindArc's pulling out less or more. So fluctuations can either work out really good or really bad for them. And I think that fluctuation was hurting them, and the fact that the economy wasn't doing so great just all over the world. Like it was a recession, a worldwide recession. People just weren't depositing as much. And because of that, because of those two factors, MindArc needed to get a little bit more money, and I think that's how they did it. I think once they sort of got their hands on that, it's very hard to transition back into something that's more economy driven, right? MindArc can't take nanocubes off the market. It would be a very weird thing to do, because then how do explosives work and everything like that? For the players who don't remember, explosives actually used to be something that you'd find in your loot. So explosives, instead of looting shrapnel right here, you'd be looting explosives. And then those you could sell to people who wanted to use explosive ammo. You could use it yourself, or you could TT it. That was the way it traditionally worked. Like, if you go back and look at my videos, I think, maybe it was before then, but if you go back and look, a lot of players used to loot explosive ammo, and then that stopped. All of a sudden, crafters were making it, and then, it was replaced. It worked out for hunters, because now with shrapnel, they get a 1% edge, right? With the crafters, they lose a little bit less, but the mining profession was sort of decimated because antimatter and ores aren't worth that much anymore. And that's why you see a lot less people mining in-game now than you used to see. It left a lot of the players who were big miners, and some of these guys were putting in a lot of money, and they were still losing, right? Like, there were some guys I knew that would go to CND at the time, now it's FOMA. They'd lose a ton of money, and they just have a great time with it because they're like, well, I went in, I lost 50%, but I got some narc, and that made up for most of it, and in the end, I lost 10%. And it's like, all right, how much is 10%? Well, I lost $100 today. That's a significant amount. But then you talk to crafters, they might be losing $200, $300, $400 a day because they're thinking, hey, I'm going to lose a ton of money crafting, but at some point, I'm going to get it back because I'm going to buy a high-value blueprint, I'm going to use that blueprint, and I'm going to make all my money back. And that was sort of how the economy was balanced in a way. And when MindArc switched to explosives over, that sort of upended everything. And it changed the way that the game worked. It changed the economy of the game. Like, some of the stuff they did, for instance, they put in this thing, right? Market value. I hated this. I was a trader. When they put in market value, now it means when I go to buy metal residue, if I say to someone, I'm going to buy I'm going to buy metal residue at 100.5%. Now they're going to come back at me and say, well, the market price is 101.9. I want 101.75. And then the question is, do I sit there and try to explain to them why I'm not going to pay them 101.5? Because I've got to sit here for an hour to collect enough to sell it at an auction. Then there's a 50% or 50 PEC fee and all that. Or do I just stop trading? I chose to stop trading. Some people kept doing it, right? And the margins just got smaller. It got a lot harder to do. But that was, overall, I'll admit, that was probably a good change for the game. Nanocubes were a good change to the game because they kept it alive during a recession, but I don't think it was a good change to the game in the sense of the economy. I think it really hurt the gaming economy. I think it really hurt Entropia Universe, but there were no competitors to Entropia Universe. And that, nice little segue there, sort of brings me into my next topic. Over the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be going into a few of the competitors to Entropia Universe. I've covered like Second Life, obviously. I sort of want to revisit Second Life. I want to revisit Decentraland because they're coming out with like actual areas that people can go to and explore. But there's a few other ones. I think there's one called Vertverse, VV, something like that. I'm in their Discord. It seems very similar to Entropia Universe, but it's interesting. It's an interesting concept. So I'm going to cover that. I'm going to cover a few other games. Like, there's another crypto one. I forget what it's called. It's like Crypto Worlds or something like that. I want to cover that. It's all in black and white. I'm going to really dive deep into it. So what I'd like you guys to do is, if you have other games that I should be trying out that you think, hey, Serial, you'd really like this game, it's a real cash economy game, post them down below, because I'm going to be dropping the same videos I always do. I'm going to be doing some Gears 5, I'm going to be doing some Rust, but in between those Entropia Universe videos, I want to also throw in some other like real cash economy worlds, because I think that's something that a lot of you guys are going to be very interested in, and I think it'd be cool to cover. I don't really want to be beholden to one game. I've gone over that. I'm not going to jump into that again. But what I do want to do is I want to go and explore some of these other games, some of these other options that are out there, so that I can give everybody watching like something cool to see, right? I think it would be very cool to see a bunch of new games. And, you know, if you don't want to watch, if you don't want to sit around and watch me play, if you don't want to sit around and play it yourself, put the time in to learn it and figure it out and deposit if you need to deposit, I think it's pretty cool if I go ahead and do that, and hopefully we all learn from it. But yeah, if you guys have any other games I should check out, feel free to drop them down here. I also have a Discord. If you go into the description, you'll see links to Twitter, Discord, Twitch, and Patreon. You can join any of those if you want. Patreon, like, there's nothing really coming out of it. Like, if you put money in, it goes towards me. It helps me with like paying for games and stuff like that. Do I need the money? Not really. Like, I started it because I was having a tough time. My money was all locked up in bonds because I'm stupid. I mean, that's not a stupid call, but the reason that's going into something else. My money was all locked up, and I started that. It helped me out, and I really do appreciate that. But the Patreon is like, it's something that I'm going to leave it around. It's really cool if you guys want to help me out, but it's not something that I'm going to say, like, you need to do it or I really want you to do it. You know, if you've got charities or anything like that that you'd rather give your money to, that's cool. Or if you'd rather spend it on beer, I get it, man. I 100% get that. Twitch, go ahead and follow me on there because that is completely free. Same with Twitter. Like, there's no reason not to, unless you think I'm going to clutter your feed, which is true. I might do that. Twitch, I probably won't because I don't stream that much. Twitter, sometimes I do tweet a little too much, so maybe that's probably not for the best. Discord's pretty cool though. There's a good community on there. I've got a nice Discord where everybody's like discussing Entropia Universe, hanging out. It's a really good way to meet other players in the game and figure out some of the stuff that you guys probably don't know about the game. So if you're like a new player or anything like that, jumping into that Discord down there it's going to help you out. Like, honestly, it's going to help you out a ton. I'm not making any money from it. There's no reason for me to be super like promote. Like, there's no reason for that. I'm just telling you guys this because it's a cool community, and you know, hopefully if you made it this far in the video, you're pretty chill, pretty cool. You're not out there smoking meth and, you know, serial killing people. Hopefully. But yeah, that's a cool one to join too. I think that covers everything. I don't think I missed any of my other things. I started a Mixer account, I think. Probably not going to do anything with that, so no reason to follow me there. Like, legit, no reason to follow me there. I think that covers all of it. Oh, if you guys want to add me in Entropia Universe, I'm Daniel Outman Jackson. Feel free to add me. It's in most of my videos. I think, I forgot to turn it on here. Giving myself away. Sometimes I change my name so people don't run into me all the time. All right, my character's slowing down. It's time to use this. One of you guys mentioned this in a video, and I'm like, I should have done that. Open the vehicle inventory, right? You take all this junk. Not junk, but good stuff that we looted. Dump it in here. Close that. You can see the vehicles. Like, I'm still way down. Still a little heavy. Go ahead and just place that right there. Now we're good to go. We can start running again. And that vehicle is going to automatically go back to storage. I'll run back and get it, and we'll be cool. Oh my god, I'm being attacked. Am I? Is this thing going after me? That thing, I was now watching. That red dot was getting a little too close. I was like, oh man. Just as I like set that thing down to transport it back, I just get killed and sent right back to teleporter. That would have sucked. Oh, another nice claim right there. We're not hitting any globals. We're not hitting anything huge, but these are honestly pretty good claims that I'm finding. I'm not 100% sure how this run's going to end. I'm not sure if it's going to be a profitable run, but it's definitely a good one. I probably should have done a little bit of a total there when I was sitting there, but like you can see we're doing decent. It's a 200 PED run, so I'm not thinking. I don't think we're gonna do. There's not gonna be like crazy profit unless I hit a big global or something like that in the next bit. But I think we are gonna. We're gonna see some decent returns here. And Treasure Island usually doesn't disappoint. I ran a little bit different. Like I ran north instead of just running south. I don't know how much that affected, but like if you guys are looking, basically I came into Treasure Island City, which is right here, and ran up this way, sort of north-ish. Ooh, we're getting back-to-back claims. That's always good. And I just realized, I think my audio's bugged. This is one of the things I hate about Entropia Universe. They've got some weird like audio bugs that when I'm recording, it sometimes like shuts the audio off, and then it's just me talking. That's all you guys hear. You don't hear anything else, and I feel like that's weird, but not much I can do about it right now. And I like this run, honestly. It's been a really good run. I feel like we've discussed some other games I'm getting into. We've discussed real cash economies. We've discussed the Entropia Universe economy. We're at 21 minutes and 5 seconds right now. I know that because I can see my recording up in the upper right hand of my screen. A little bit of insider information there for those of you guys wondering. And yeah, I feel like it was a good talk overall. And look at that, we hit 61,000 skills. We're getting some extra skills because we're spending extra money. The more you spend, the more you get. That's how Entropia Universe works, as far as skills and loot. Actually, that's a really good statement, like a really good words to live by with Entropia Universe. The more you spend, the more you get. That does not mean the more you spend, the more profit you get. That just means the more returns you get, right? Like in PED value. Now, what really matters is percentages. If you can come to me as a new player and you say, hey, I love playing Entropia. I want to play Entropia 24/7, but I've got this method. It's going to give me, 1% off of every one, every mining drop I make. That's a great way to play the game, but it's not going to get you maximal skills per hour. So it all depends what you're targeting, what you want in the game. Personally, I like sort of these big runs because you have a lot more flexibility as far as what you see. Like you're going to see huge profits, huge losses. You're going to see big skill gains. It's fun. And I'm playing other games right now too, so I'm not looking to extend my PEDs as far as possible. I know everybody thinks like I'm super eco, like that's all I'm all about. Like I'm, I don't want to ever waste a PED on something ridiculous. And that's not quite me. I like to talk about eco, about economy, because I think that's a nice one. Ooh, geez. We're getting some nice claims here, back to back to back to back. That's not bad. But yeah, everybody thinks that I'm all about eco, which I like eco. That's a cool thing to discuss. I think that's very helpful for new players. That's one of the reasons I like to cover it. Look at that red dot off to my left. He's a little too close, I feel like. Let's keep an eye on him. Who is this here? I don't even see it. I think it's a lower level mob though, so I think we're good. Ooh, we got something that just spawned right there. It's in the water, I think. So we should be. Oh no, wait. What is this? What is this guy? Oh, foul young. All right, we're good. No, let's not run at it, but we're good. Cool. That's like a level 4 mob. If you guys are looking for fouls, right up here, nice little area for him. If we look at our land area, you can see hunting and mining taxes have been set to 0. Apparently there was some drama between the guy who owns this and Mindark, and this is the result, which it's good for me. And I mean, for him that sucks because he's a huge, we got some dung. That's something I really don't care about. Yeah, I mean, it sucks for him. You always hate to see people who are like, because he was one of those guys who's like very key to the Entropia economy. So I hate to see it where it's like he's not happy with the way things are going. So I really don't like to see that 0%. But it is good. It's a good opportunity to come out here and mine and not actually lose or waste any money. So if you're looking for a nice and easy way to mine on land areas without costing you anything, Treasure Island might be the place to go. And some people, they say that CLDs, Calypso land deeds, don't draw any money from land areas. Okay. And what this means, this is very cool. What this means is, on Treasure Island, your loot is going to be better. And here's the theory. The loot's going to be better because there's no CLDs drawing value from it, right? And CLDs are saying, let's say CLDs draw an average of 2.5% out of the loot pool. So 2.5% isn't being drawn out of the loot pool by Treasure Island for CLDs, and it's not being drawn out of the loot pool anymore for the owner himself because he set it all to 0. So that means it's a golden opportunity to come here and mine because you can find all sorts of crazy, crazy stuff. And you're not being taxed on it. And you know what? You know what everybody likes better than taxes? No taxes. That's pretty much almost guaranteed. It doesn't matter who you are. Donald Trump would tell you this. And he's the one that takes all that tax money, right? That's not how it works. I know. But it's a simplified version of it. Leave me alone. Also, all right, funny story here, because I just realized that when we looted the dung. I've told this a few times, but some of you new players will probably appreciate it. So with common dung, if you look at this, it weighs a shit ton. It weighs 12 kilograms for 24 of them. If you have a lot of dung, and you can see here, like the markup, you can't even sell this on auction. Like the markup's horrible. If you're in PvP and you really want to tick someone off, drop dung. And this is the best thing I've seen. So this guy in PvP 4, he's on like not Discord at the time, it was something else. He's on like Skype or whatever with his friend. They'd wait for someone to shoot him. The guy would shoot him, loot him, get the dung. His friend jumps in with a sniper rifle and just starts nailing this guy from a distance. The guy can't run at him with his gun. He's just screwed. It was such a great method of doing it. I loved it. It was, man. Back in the days, this was like 2008, but oh man, if I'd been recording like YouTube back then, I would have loved to be that bait guy. Just get killed, the guy gets my dung, and he's like, what is this? And then all of a sudden, from a long distance, just a sniper shot rips through him, and he realizes he's screwed. Because a lot of these guys, they'd have a sniper rifle, but they wouldn't have it out. So that first hit hits them, they realize what's up. They go to run at them so they can get that distance closed in and just annihilate them with their heavy-duty one hit on the armor gun, and then they realize that this guy just dumped about 200 kilograms or 300 or 400 or whatever it is of dung on them, and they can't loot it. So then the other guy kills him, grabs the loot, and just gets out of there, and it's all golden. It's like, oh man, that was some smart thinking. That was troll tactics used against the people that were trolling. So I guess it's not trolling to kill in PvP 4, but you guys get what I'm saying. I just loved it. Those were the good days, the good old days when there was nice markup on everything. You could make money mining, and in PvP 4 everybody was trolling each other, and there's no such thing as space. Yeah, that was pre-space when you'd have to find a pilot and there'd be like a little load screen animation that would play when you went up to Crystal Palace or Club Never Die. I know, the old days. Some of you guys like these stories, some of you guys don't. So I try to throw them in every now and then because I think it's sort of cool to hear about how Entropia Universe used to be and reminisce. I guess I'm reminiscing and being an old geezer here. Did my vehicle not come back to storage? Oh, come on now. Really? Huh. Alright, let's call it back. I don't know why it does this, right? Like I type something in, I hit recall all vehicles, it jumps to the page instead of just popping it up like this. MindArc, that's not a feature. That's a bug, in my opinion. I'm a programmer, so I know how people, I know how they sell this. They're just like, it's actually a feature that we've made for you. I know you didn't say it in your design pattern and you didn't want this at all, but we've added something extra. And in reality, it was some programmer who couldn't figure out what they were doing and just decided to call it a feature. It happens. I get why they'd be doing it, so I'm not gonna call them out too much on it. All right, let's see how we ended up here. This isn't the greatest run. I'm gonna be honest here. So we started off with 168 PEDs in AMP. We're down to 152 PEDs, so we took a loss there. Let me pull out the handy dandy calculator. Run this. So we spent 168 PEDs with markup. We got 152 back, so we're losing 16 PEDs already, right? Plus we've got about 50 PEDs of probes that we spent. We're going to subtract 18 from that. So we lost about 47 PEDs on this run. If you look at markup, there is probably a little bit of markup on some of this stuff, so let's check that real quick. Lyterian Dust is down. Cobalt isn't too high. Bacerium's not too high, but we're probably going to get a few PEDs back. But overall, we probably lost about 40 PEDs on this run. That's a pretty significant loss, and this is why you guys don't see me doing this when I'm trying to do daily or almost daily Entropia Universe videos. Now that I'm splitting it up a little bit, I'm doing some other stuff. It gives me a little bit more of my like PED card free to do things like this. So if you like this like longer form, higher intensity mining run, this is how you get it. Anyways, guys, I really hope you liked this video. It went way longer than I was expecting, but I really had fun with it. So if you have any questions, comments, anything like that, feel free to leave them down below. Let me know any of those real cash economy games that you would like to see me check out, or anything else. Just let me know. Anyways, until next time, peace.